Hey everyone, hope you're doing well. I just saw a PC Game article about the top 20 most wishlisted Steam games going into the next year. I just thought it'd be a fun thing to look at and be a little excited about going forward, especially with the Game Awards happening very, very soon. It could just be a cool thing to look at some of these games before they maybe get overshadowed by whatever is going to be announced in the following days. So yeah, this is the PC Game article. I'll leave the link to this in the description if you would like to look at anything further on your own. I'll also leave links to the Steam pages of all these games in the description. I'm guessing a lot of these are going to be indie games. I'm not going to sit through and read all these different things. I just wanted to look at this list with you guys. All right, so Vindictus Defying Fate. There we go, Defying Fate. So from my understanding after looking at this, Vindictus is an ARPG that originally came out in 2012, but this is the sequel to that. It seems to be a bit of a reimagining of the Elden Ring world, as far as I can tell. At least that's what this article is saying. Um, yeah, really just highlighting the dodging and counterattack mechanics. So that's pretty cool. Yeah, it does really seem like it's going to be a cool kind of another Souls like. I'm getting a little bit tired of those personally, so I don't know if I'll be super into this one. But I know a lot of people still like Souls like, so if that's your kind of thing, this is going to be a cool game to look at and a good one to look forward to, especially with the Vindictus name. I know it's a popular game on Steam. Anyways, yeah, Gothic 1. I'm somewhat familiar with Gothic. The first one came out quite a while ago. That's why it's getting a remake. Yeah, 20 years old. Um, but yeah, it's kind of known as like a like a very classic game. Looks like Gothic 1 Remake already has a demo available on Steam. That could be pretty cool to check out. It's set to release in Q1 of 2026. That's pretty cool. But yeah, it's quoted as saying complex life simulation on a scale hardly ever seen before. Now, what that entirely means, I am not quite sure, but we'll have to see when it comes out. Or maybe it's even in the demo. I know THQ Nordic is also working on some other projects. What is the one called? Here, let me actually check, because it's a project that I'm really looking forward to, but I cannot remember the name for the life of me. I have a wish listed too. Fatekeeper. Fatekeeper. That's what I'm thinking of. Fatekeeper. They're also working on that, so looks like THQ has a lot of these sort of medieval, potentially fantasy style. I'm not super familiar with Gothic, but it seems like it's got another one of those in the works. Alright, Reanimal. So from the creators of Little Nightmare. It's pretty cool. Looks like a co-op horror, so I'm guessing something along the lines of like Split Fiction or It Takes Two, but in a horror aesthetic similar to that of Little Nightmares. That seems really cool, actually. Oh yeah, there we go. Like Split. Yeah, exactly what I was saying. That's funny. Yeah, I mean, with the success of those two, I am not at all surprised that they would want to go in a direction like this, especially because Little Nightmares 3, if I'm like remembering correctly, didn't do super well. But hey, I mean, this seems like it could be really cool. I'll definitely be checking this out because I know I got a lot of friends who enjoy Little Nightmares, and I think it would just be a fun one to play. I'm curious as to when this is coming out. I'll have to check out the trailer, maybe talk about that on its own video. Mouse PI for Hire. This is one that I have been looking at for a long, long time. It looks like a cartoony Doom that kind of has like a. I'm gonna use the name Cuphead to kind of describe the aesthetic here. Think of like Cuphead but 3D. It seems like that kind of thing where it's just gonna be like a cool gory shoot 'em up, but with a cool hand drawn aesthetic. And I think you can see a bit of that from the picture here. It seems to be releasing in March of 2026. But yeah, this looks like it's going to be a lot of fun, just blasting up like mice in this in this wacky cartoony world. This is exactly the kind of thing that I'm looking forward to seeing next year. So that's going to be really cool. Oh yeah, Reanimal February. That I don't know how I didn't see that. It's my bad. Ill is another one of those ones that I had heard about. I think there is a trailer about like just available as well. It looks weird. It looks really, really weird, but it looks really cool as well. From what I saw, it was some kind of like war game, but with like war shooter kind of game. But there was this weird, I guess, zombie infection. looks creepy. It looks really cool though. I know I've said that a lot, but I'm gonna probably keep saying that because it is really cool. I'm looking forward to seeing what this is about. There's not a lot of information about it in terms of story or anything. But yeah, as there is no release date in sight, we can just say it's probably around a year out, as PC Gamer is saying here. Steam Machine. This is going to be interesting. I am really curious to see how much they're going to charge, and in case you're wondering when the price will be announced, sometime in early January. They said, I think, around the New Year's. So we don't have too much longer to wait till that, but it should release sometime around the first or second quarter. I would imagine much closer to the first quarter of this next year. Chrono Odyssey. It's an MMORPG that promises open world exploration, action combat, and straight up time travel. What is the old PS2 game, Time Splitters? That's the first thing that comes to mind when I hear this. But yeah, it definitely looks kind of cool. Dungeons, PvP, crafting. I mean, I personally don't play a lot of MMOs. I just can't get into them. I feel like you kind of got to start when they're new. So maybe if this is cool, I can hop on then. I don't know if you consider it an MMO at all, but I've been playing Arc Raiders recently. That's been a lot of fun, especially with some of my friends. We just get on once we're done with our work, and then we just play that for a couple hours. But yeah, Chrono Odyssey does look really cool. I like the boss design. I'm guessing that's a boss. It must be a boss. It's just huge and scaly, almost has a little bit of that Alien aesthetic, like Ridley Scott, Alien. So yeah, Q4 2026. That's another one that I'm gonna have to keep my eye out on. That's not something people say, is it? It's something I'm gonna have to keep my eye on. There we go. Quarantine Zone, The Last Check. Alright, it looks like this one also has a demo available, but it seems to be another weird zombie game. I think we're going to see a lot of these going forward. I feel like it's such an easy formula to just create something strange and weird. But it looks like you'll be playing as a, guy who checks if you have the virus or whatever. I think I Am Legend had something like that in the beginning part of the movie. I guess you're going to be like one of those guys. I don't know. This seems like it's going to be just kind of a fun one, but like I said, there is a demo on Steam already, so I'll leave the Steam page in the description alongside all these other ones. And if that seems like something that would just be, I hope it's a party game, like something you can play with your friends, but even then it could be, even if it's not, it could still be pretty fun. So yeah. Witchbrook. This looks kind of like a Stardew Valley meets Harry Potter, and I think that's exactly what they're going for. Co-op life sim, seaside town. Yeah, this is screaming Stardew. Set to release some point in 2026. I don't know, especially with Hogwarts Legacy being as well received as it was. I think something that sort of merges the two, Stardew Valley and Hogwarts Legacy, could be really, really cool. I don't know if I'm gonna play this one as much because I didn't play a lot of Stardew Valley or Hogwarts Legacy for that matter. But if you're a fan of either of those games, it seems like something that could be way up your alley. I don't know that I have a lot to say on this one. Heroes of Might and Magic, Olden era. This looks like I'm not gonna say that. That's rude. All right, so this just looks to be like a cool 90s style tactical RPG. This one also has a demo out on Steam. A lot of these do have demos on Steam, so that's even more incentivizing to check these out and see if they're even worth your time next year when they officially come out. But yeah, it seems like there's skepticism surrounding this as to whether it's going to even be able to live up to the 90s classics in terms of its quality and entertainment, I guess. But just from the art direction that I'm seeing in this picture, I really like the shadows in there. I know it's not necessarily the most important detail, but just seeing the shadows on the little characters looks really cool to me. But I do like that way that's kind of got that 3D world and those, I'm guessing they're hand-drawn characters. I don't know much about this at all, but I guess that's the point of doing this video, so that we can discover these games together. Number 10, I actually have heard of Half Sword. I have a friend at my school who is really enjoying this. I got another friend who's also enjoying playing it. It just seems to be like Chivalry 2 if it was way harder, like more mechanically complicated and gory. And I don't know, it looks really cool. I know there's a playable demo that you can play as well for this. It definitely looks like a lot of fun, and I'm sure that a lot of the videos on YouTube you guys have seen, it's awesome. It's awesome from what I can tell. It's just fun medieval combat that doesn't feel quite like anything else. Um, so if that sounds like something that could be your thing, definitely check this one out. Unrecord. I remember when the IGN trailer came out for this, I was losing my mind. I remember a bunch of people saying like, no, that's not a game. This was back when Unreal Engine was like getting big. So after the Unreal Engine 5 update, Unreal Engine 4 was big too. But I remember this being one of the big showcases of the Unreal Engine 5. If you guys are familiar with the new body cam shooter on Steam, it's going to be pretty similar to that, but it seems to be a more narrative focused game. But again, there's no release date on this, so I'm skeptical as to whether it'll even come out in 2026. But yeah, there's still a chance it could come out in that time. It looks cool though. I'll leave the link to the trailer as well as the Steam page on this one. Although I guess the Steam page might already have that. Wow, Arc 2. I remember talking with a lot of coworkers this summer about Arc. They were pretty excited for Arc 2 because the most recent Arc game, I forget what the title of it was, but I heard it was not great. I don't know how true that is. I only played the first one with my brother many, many years ago. So I'm sure this one's going to be cool. I mean, riding dinosaurs in a weird survival world is fun. I had a lot of fun with the first game. And apparently has Vin Diesel in it. I don't know how that works, but I'm kind of looking forward to seeing how he does it. I mean, we got Keanu Reeves in Cyberpunk. Why can't Vin Diesel ride a dinosaur in Ark? So I'm open-minded with this one, but it looks kind of fun. Yeah, but there's also no release date, so we're just speculating as to when it'll come out. Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if this was further closer to mid-2027 or later. But yeah, that's another one. Blight. I remember Blight, the announcement for it. Blight seems to be like a third-person Kingdom Come, maybe closer to what was it called? Plague Tale. It seems like a Plague Tale, but in a co-op survival horror, which is really unique because I can't think of anything else that's like a medieval style horror game like this. Unfortunately, it also doesn't have a release date. We've been seeing a lot of those recently, but it definitely looks like a cool, like Souls inspired kind of game here. Yeah, I don't have too many thoughts on this one. Slay the Spire 2. I know this was a really popular indie game. I'm not too familiar with the style of gameplay, so you guys will have to let me know. But it seems to be a very, very highly anticipated game coming out. I think licensed by Xbox, or at least on Game Pass day one, I'm guessing. But yeah, set to release in March 2026. The specific day, though, within that month has not been set. But yeah, I think the art style is really cool, and if you're into these sort of like indie games, you may enjoy this one. Kingmakers one. Oh, I know what this is. This is the medieval game where you take down the huge armies. I'm guessing that it's like a horde mechanic simulation to some degree. But you kill off or fight these huge armies with tanks and guns and all kinds of stuff. It just looks like absolute carnage. It's absolutely ridiculous, but it definitely looks like it could be a lot of just mindless fun. Just kind of like the way Doom is kind of cathartic. I don't know. I don't know if this is going to be anywhere close to that in terms of that feeling, because that's a pretty hard thing to replicate. Doom has it figured out, but man, this just like, it just screams early 2000s nonsense in a way that so many games are unable to meet anymore. I don't know. I'm a fan of the concept, no matter how ridiculous it is. It just looks like something that could be a lot of fun. All right, I think we're getting into some of the big ones here. Resident Evil Requiem. I actually didn't get into Resident Evil until like a year or two ago, and since then I have played through so many. I don't even have a PS4 anymore, but I think I still have my Resident Evil 7 copy, which is not just like one of the best Resident Evil games, but one of the best games I've ever played. It was just so much fun to play that like that game and experience that creepy haunted house in the middle of the woods in I think Louisiana or something. But since then I got hooked. Then I played Village, and then I played the original trilogy and 4. I guess the original quadrilogy then. But I don't think I've played 5 or 6, and I don't necessarily plan to because they're long and not very good from what I hear. But yeah, with that said, Resident Evil Requiem looks pretty cool. I know there's a couple trailers out now, and it's set to come out in February. But it seems to be bringing back a lot of the like cool things about the recent Resident Evil remakes. So 1 through 4. I guess 1 hasn't received a remake since the early 2000s, but yeah, it definitely looks like it could be a lot of fun, and I'm looking forward to seeing what it has to offer. This is probably one of my most anticipated games for 2026, next to GTA 6. Light No Fire. This is from the developers of No Man's Sky. I mean, if it's anything like No Man's Sky, we could be seeing... I'm seeing dragons in this picture. I'm seeing something. And I think if it's anything like the No Man's Sky game, being able to go around this weird, colorful world on top of dragons could be just a cool thing to experience. I don't know if it'll follow the same like survival mechanics as No Man's Sky, but if it does, that'd be really cool. Oh, here. Before it's a fantasy survival adventure with a planet the size of Earth. So it's going to be another huge map, but a cool kind of like fantasy survival. I'm seeing dragons. I'm seeing things out of Gazelle or something. In a really cool, like colorful prehistoric world. It looks like almost. All right, Deadlock. Deadlock looks like it's already received a bunch of playtesting, and it looks to be done by Valve. You know what? This kind of reminds me of, like, from the aesthetic, it looks like TF2. But it seems to be playing more like Dota from what I'm reading here. And I don't know, like, I never got into Dota. I don't know that I've played it even. But, I mean, I'm willing to try anything Valve gives us because they just respect the gamers and they know what the gamers want, so I'm willing to at least give it a shot. But yeah, that is set to come out sometime next year, but it doesn't seem like there's any like official like release date for that. Alright, and the number 1 most wishlisted game on Steam is Subnautica 2. This is actually kind of funny. My brother has just gotten back into Subnautica for the first time in many years, and he's been having a blast with it. I had my Steam Deck on a bus trip recently, and I played that for a lot of the ride. Let me just tell you, playing Subnautica on a bus with a Steam Deck in your hand at 3 in the morning are some of the most immaculate vibes you can experience playing Subnautica. It was ridiculous, but it was so much fun. Just relaxing on a not a very comfortable bus seat. I mean, buses aren't that comfortable, but being able to play it on the go like that, running stable 60 FPS, was really fun. It was just a good experience, and it made me have a higher appreciation for the game. But yeah, Subnautica 2 looks like it's just going to be everything that Subnautica 1 and Below Zero were, but just dial up to 11. It looks like it's also going to be co-op, and that's going to be really cool. I think one of the intentional yet frustrating bits about Subnautica, like the original Subnautica, was the loneliness of it. It definitely was intentional. You were supposed to feel isolated. You were left stranding on a like a watery planet, and that was the point. You had to escape so you could get back to people. But I think that the fact that you are able to play with other people is going to really like just keep this game more entertaining for a longer amount of time. I wonder if it's going to go into the direction that Raft did in terms of its co-op mechanics. That'd definitely be really cool. But the one bit of like, I do ever still remain a little bit wary because there is an ongoing lawsuit between the studio's founders and the publishers of Subnautica 2. And I had also heard recently that there was some controversy regarding the use of AI in this game. But yeah, this is definitely a very, very anticipated game, and it's supposed to come to early access in early 2026. So that's a really cool thing. I'm really glad to see that we're getting another year full of really great games. Now, maybe GTA 6 will get pushed over to 2027, but I mean, back to back years as it stands so far are going to be incredible. 2025 was already one of the best years we've had in gaming of this decade. Um, 2026 could be the same way. It's just, we're going to have to see. I don't know if anything will be able to stand against the giant that is GTA 6. But yeah, all these games are coming out. I wonder how much it's going to change once the Game Awards announce whatever they have to show us. And I hope that you enjoyed the style of video here. This is something a little bit different. I'm willing to try a lot of things as this is a new channel and I'm not really a YouTuber, so we're figuring it out. But yeah, if you did enjoy this, let me know by leaving a comment. And yeah, I'm hoping you guys just have a good rest of your night. See ya.